Hi everyone, welcome back to CSS 101, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some important concepts in CSS, namely cascade, specificity, and inheritance here. So these properties actually control your CSS and how it actually is applied to your HTML here. And the first property I'm going to talk about is the cascade property here. So we have a HTML file here, and it has a link to a style CSS. And in this style CSS, we have just a simple rule here. We're saying, okay, all the paragraphs in the HTML, we want to set the color to purple here. So when I do another rule here, I'm going to select the paragraph again. So I'm going to set this color now to red. And if I refresh this page here, we can see here now it becomes red. So if I rearrange these rules here, I'm going to put it right at the beginning, and now it becomes purple here. So that is what cascade actually means. If you have like two same rules, but I mean at least two of the same selectors, but the property value is different, is going to actually take the latest value here. So I'm going to demonstrate it again with the same selector. If I have two duplicate values, I'm going to change it to purple here at the beginning, and then red, and then refresh the page. You can see it becomes red now, and you can see the IDE gives you a warning. It probably says like you can't have duplicate properties here. But this actually also demonstrates the cascade property of CSS. And okay, so that is just in a same file here. But what if we have two files that sets the paragraph to a color of a different color? So I'm going to create another file called styles2, and I'm going to give a paragraph color of green here. And then I'm going to link styles2 in the HTML, and I'm going to put it right after the first style sheet here. And when we refresh the page here, as you can see, it becomes green here now because it follows the second CSS file here. If we rearrange the style sheet order here, and we put it before the first style sheet, now we refresh the page, it becomes red again because the styles is styling it as red and it appears last. So it's going to take the latest value here. So that is what cascade actually represents here. Okay, so now we're going to talk about specificity. And what specificity actually means is how specific is your rule here. So before that, I'm just going to delete this file here because we are not really going to use that anymore. Delete the link here, and then we're going to look at your styles.css. And as you can see here, we have a element selector. We're selecting the paragraph element. So this basically means that every paragraph in the HTML file will have a color of red. So let's just duplicate this paragraph here, and we're going to put maybe 5 paragraphs here. So we have paragraphs, all of them have a color of red here. And the next thing I want to do is I want to give some of the paragraphs. So I'm going to give the third paragraph a class attribute of special. And I'm also going to give the next paragraph, the fourth paragraph, the same class here. So what it does, this class attribute basically gives it a label. So we can actually select paragraphs with this class here. So to do that, we're going to use the dot here and the name of the class. This actually selects all the special class here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the color to, I'm going to change it to blue. Okay, special as color blue. We refresh this page now. As you can see here, the third and fourth paragraph, which has the class of special, is now blue in color. So we're going to do the same thing as we did previously here, and we're going to change the order. We're going to put it above the paragraph selector, and when we refresh this, as you can see, these styles don't change. It's still blue because this is a more specific selector. So that is basically how the order of the control for CSS here. They look at the cascade, but if there is a more specific selector, it's going to look at the more specific selector here. So that is your specificity in CSS here. So there are a little bit more specific selectors. We're not going to go through that in this video, but you get the gist of specificity. So the next concept we're going to take a look at is inheritance here. So what is inheritance? We're going to demonstrate this by removing all these rules here, and we're going to change the body element. We're going to introduce a rule for the body element. We're going to put a color of, I don't know, I'm going to put purple. And then when we refresh this page here, we can see all the text of the paragraphs that we have here have become purple. And we did not actually set the paragraph colors here. We set the body because some properties can actually be inherited from their ancestors. So the body here actually passes its color property down to its descendants here, and all the paragraphs will have the color of purple here. So if I have, for example, an unordered list here, and then a list item, I'm just going to put some fruits here. Apple. I'm gonna put orange. Let's put a banana there. And when I refresh this, now we have an unordered list and it's also purple. But if we actually style the unordered list now, and we put the color of, I don't know, orange, and we refresh this now, we can see here now it becomes orange because we actually styled the unordered list, not the list items itself, but the unordered list has now inherited from, sorry, the list item has now inherited from the unordered list. And that basically determines your inheritance here. So these are the three important rules that you have to take note when you're writing your CSS rules here. So I'm going to end this video here now, and in the next video we're going to start talking about selectors. So we've actually gone through two different selectors here, your paragraph selector, and we actually talked a little bit about the class selector, but CSS actually has even more selectors than that, and we're going to take a look at them in the next video. So if you like this content, please leave a comment, give it a like, and subscribe and hit the bell for your notifications, and I will see you in the next video.